Good afternoon, colleagues. We are almost at the end of this fascinating conference. I think you joined with me to thank you, the Lithuanian presidency, for organizing this event, which was really helpful, useful, and I have to say, really also just in time, because we have to do something collectively. As Commissioner said yesterday, and I think this was really confirmed during the talks that we have yesterday and today, leadership in education, or leadership in schools, whatever you call it, plays a key role in order to raise the quality of education and training. And we need to look at our leaders of the schools to see how can they provide the best possible education for our young people. If we recall the situation we have at European level, but we have progressed in different areas. We have progressed in dropouts. You know that we have our target of 10%. We were at 13% last year. We have progressed a little bit to be this year at 12.7. Nevertheless, we have 12.7 young people in Europe dropping out from the school. It's enormous. If we add to this, we have also some difficulties at European level, and I think it was right also in terms of basic skills, in terms of knowledge in science, maths, literacy. We have 1 in 5 young people that have difficulties on literacy. So we have an enormous difficulty. So, and who have we in Europe to play a key role? School leaders. Everybody have a play in the game, but school leaders are the essential players in that. And it is essential for ensuring that we create the necessary environment for learning, but also for teaching. We don't forget, and I think this has been remembered a lot of times during this today, that our target are the young people. What you do is for the young people. But we need also to do with the means, and the means to address this issue are the teachers. But we need also not forget one thing. I've not this figure, I don't know that there are some studies on that, but what is the percentage of the knowledge that today we acquire at the school? It's not like the past, I'm sure, 100%. I dare to say that it could not be very different from 40, 50, 60% of the knowledge that we acquire are in the school. The remaining thing is around the non-formal, the informal, the tweets, the social media, the computers, the home, and so on. So we need to take this into consideration when we are addressing the issue of education. Of course, and then the school leaders should also play a role in this game. So we need to make sure that our schools and colleges are led by leaders that know what to do and know how to do. And we have to have leaders of the highest quality possible. May I disagree with one of the statements that have been put there on, I think it was McKinsey that said that at a certain moment the quality education is not greater than the quality of teachers. I'm not sure. Who am I to disagree with Mr. McKenzie? But I dare to say that when we are teachers, I've been also a teacher a long time ago. My ambition was to transmit to the students better information, more quality than myself. So if we limit ours, let's say, if the quality of the things I transmit is equal to myself, I'm limiting. So this is something that I would like also to raise to you, to reflect and to see how can we address these things. So we need really, as it was said, leaders that build the links between all the different stakeholders. And one thing is very, very important, all stakeholders. We should not limit the school to the school. We should not limit the cooperation, the partnership between schools. We should open the schools to the society. We should link schools with other schools. We should link schools with primary schools. We should link schools to universities. But we should link schools to the society and to the business. Very often we have said, and we have seen this message since yesterday. So really, the leaders should be the builders of these links, this close cooperation in between the different stakeholders. So what we need is to try to help the change and to develop new leaders that are able to adapt to this rapid change. Again, a message that, well, we heard yesterday sometimes a certain complaint that in the education system we are very often submitted, we all in the different European countries and I think all over, to reforms. We have a reform. Of course, we need to have time to consolidate the reform. But we shouldn't forget that we are in a changing world. And the changing world obliges us a changing mechanism and attitude every day. So, okay, we need to take this into consideration, but we need to take this on board and adapt ourselves to this continuous change that our society today obliges us to see. So some the key ideas that I have taken away from this conference include, namely, innovation in leadership. So we need to address leadership in new ways. But also, we need to have the leaders who encourage the innovation inside the schools. So it's not a joke with the words, but it's really the concept of the words. Innovation in leadership, but also leadership for innovating in the school. We have heard a number of examples and how member states are progressing, and I think we have to be quite happy for the progress, but we need to continue this movement. We heard the different approaches on leadership, including that we should recognize that the leader should also, as we heard, distribute his leader capacity or empower, if we may say, to the others, members of the entity. Because we can't live with a single person. The leader is one, but he will be more important, more crucial, more powerful if we succeed to link with the other leaders, with the other colleagues. So this is really something very, very, very important. And then the openness of the school. I think it's very crucial, as it was said, collaboration with the other institutions, with the other parts of the society, link with the local authorities, link with the regional, link with the environment, with the business. So it's really very important that the school leader could act as this builder of the cooperation, of the bridges in between the different partners. And then to address the issue of education has a continuous momentum in between the early childhood education and care, the primary school, secondary school, university. vet organizations is inside, but also in the adult learning. So what the school should give in concrete terms is the knowledge, of course, but it should include, allow me to say this in this very low-profile manner, but let's include a virus of lifelong learning appetite to young people. Because we are still very far away from our objectives. We have less than 9% of the population that are involved in continuous learning activities during the life. So we need to increase this movement. We need to have more people in a continuous learning method, because the society, as we said, is a changing mode, so we need to adapt in a continuous manner to this. So the leaders in the school should create this environment that in one way we have this continuous movement, but in another way they can create this kind of appetite for that. Because as it was said some minutes ago, most of the skills that will be necessary tomorrow are still unknown. Well, we are now working the iPads, the iPhones, and things, something that for 3 years ago or 5 years ago didn't exist. And now we are working. So we need that the school prepare the young people for this changing. In a way, we may say that in some cases we are teaching, we are giving information for the unknown. We are preparing young people for something that we don't know how it will be the society. So we need that this can be the leitmotif, one of the initiatives, one of the main concerns for the school leader. And the school leader, of course, plays here an essential role. So what the Commission can do? The Commission is trying to support Member States. At the European level, we must say, very few things happen. The reality is at Member States level. The reality is, and even at school level. So it's you that you should intervene in this case. What we can do is to support. Is in some cases to provoke. In some cases to guide them, to give some best practices, to collect, to act as a bridge builder, as we say, in a way that we try to have this interaction, this network between the different actors. So we can do this by our normal meetings, inviting you to come to Brussels on the different elements, the different meetings, the different networks. And now we have, because we collectively have succeeded to put education on top of the agenda of the growth, the Europe 2020 strategy, education and the program Erasmus Plus is receiving in this very tight moment where the budgets are very rigid and very limited. We succeed to have our budget increase for last program, Lifelong Learning, to the new program Erasmus Plus of 40%. It's a big amount of money. But this is for you to do, and for the teacher, and in very concrete terms, how can we see this support? We have 3 types of activities supported by the new program. We have the mobility aspect, where we can have the teachers, the leaders, moving around in a very strategic manner, so the school leaders could be involved in this mobility program. We have also something that we call the strategic partnerships in between schools, but not only. Traditionally, as Comenius, the colleagues that have been very familiar with Comenius, we try to encourage the cooperation between schools. But now we also try to improve and reinforce cooperation between schools and outside schools, with other partners, universities or business or whatever, in order to have this. And then we have also some initiatives that we are also planning to do about some prospective initiatives. How can we really anticipate the future? Another very concrete thing, and this is relates with what Vilma and Salus just said. What next? We have this conference, which we found very, very interesting in several aspects. We will have next month another conference on comenius, on leadership, where there I hope that we will have more leaders of schools. Because here we have some leaders of schools, but it's essentially about government, the ministries, the director general is responsible. So, but there we believe that we will have the school leaders really addressing the issue, how they believe, how they feel, what are their expectations, what are their needs. Because we need also to understand, because we can have some ideas, but they are the real population. So they should say and should express themselves. So this is how do we see, and then we will have council conclusions. And we have the meeting of the director generals in December, where what I heard is that the presidency would expect to ask what next, what different member states want to do about this conclusion. So finally, I would like really to thank you, the presidency, the Lithuanian presidency and the colleagues that have organized this conference, and I will ask you if you join me to celebrate our colleagues, and thank you very much.